their innovative web tools on righttoyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their
They're going to be good, dude. They've already got better from last year.
The right selection.
Like, they'll be fine.
Toyota.com.
How's the golf game? Need help with that putter? Win free golf membership or putter fitting from Putting World Scottsdale. Just text PUTT to 59925. That's PUTT to
I was trying to tell Rock that women's college basketball is actually pretty legit. Like, there's so many star players that are worth your time watching.
48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
Golfers, swing into Vans Golf Shops for the hottest.
Dude, they outdrew the women's college championship game, outdrew the World Series.
Come by and test drive the new.
It's like, that's all you need to know, you know?
Irons, the new Callaway Apex Pro iron sets, and the new Titleist T-Series irons. While you're there, get a free custom fitting on the new arrivals and more.
Yep, come on, Jax, get on the train, buddy.
Orders for all the latest golf gear from all the top manufacturers. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
Time for Arizona's
Yeah, me and Gross can just do 2 hours a week on women's sports. And
Take the points.
It'd be great.
Powered by the Sportsbook.
Got plenty to talk about.
Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you
The
covered.
WSL championship game is tomorrow.
Now, take the points on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Good Saturday morning to you. Mike Gross, Jackson Groff back at the CAZ Sportsbook, Casino, Arizona, Luke 101 and McKellips. Packed already this morning. Lots of good games underway. We'll get to those in just a moment. Mike Bauer has the day off today, and Richie behind the glass studio. So we're taking up to 1 o'clock here, Jackson, and appreciate you guys holding it down while I was out last week.
Hey, welcome back.
Checked it off my bucket list, man. Got to go to Lambeau Field. Ooh. And I said that walking in, and I was with my daughter and my nephew, and they got mad at me because I kept going, Lambeau Field, like what John Frusetta from NFL Films. But it was amazing. It was amazing. The game, not so great. The Los Angeles Rams looked like they would have rather been any place other than Green Bay, Wisconsin. It was like in the upper 40s, really cloudy and gray, and between the second and the third quarter, it rained quite a bit, and the Rams were like, our quarterback's not here. Do we have to be here? Like, they did not want to be there. Because I don't think the Packers are that good, but they dominated the Rams. But that was, for me, that was beside the point. It was just amazing to be in Green Bay, Wisconsin on game day. I didn't have a beer. I had a Miller Lite. I had a brat.
Wait. You didn't have a beer, but you had a Miller Lite?
Yeah, like you said, well, I went to the game and I had a beer. Like, what kind of beer? I don't know. I just had a beer. When you go to Lambeau Field, you have a Miller Lite because that is like Milwaukee. That is Wisconsin. That is, the signs are everywhere.
It's better than a Bud Light, I guess.
I don't.
We won't talk about that on the program.
Whatever. But I'm just saying it's a Miller Lite type of environment. I had the big brat. Cheese curds abound, but it was just to see a game in that stadium, the history, like the bleachers, like they are all just metal bleachers. Like, you want to come to Lambeau Field, you're going to pay the money, you're going to sit on a metal bleacher. Section 301, row 7, seat 22. That's what I had.
Did you wear a cheese head? And how many?
I did not wear a cheese head. There were plenty of those. There was this really cool new era hat, you know, but they were the oversized, so the huge one, and then it had the thing on the inside where you could put it on. But I didn't think the people behind me would like that. $120. But they had the flyover. It was just a great venue to watch a professional football game. Amazing. The town, you're driving in. There's one way into Green Bay. Everybody's on the interstate headed up to Green Bay. Everybody is so nice at that. It's amazing, that Green Bay or Midwest nice that you hear about. Just a great Sunday afternoon with my nephew and my daughter watching the Packers and the Rams. So I checked Lambeau Field off my bucket list.
Did you tailgate at all? How was the tailgate?
Did not tailgate, but the tailgate scene was pretty solid. And people take it extremely serious. And then on the street, there's the road running to the stadium off the interstate. It's called Lombardi Avenue. On the other side, it looks like these houses have been like turned into, like Airbnb for Packer games, and they're amazing. Like they're all football motif, and I'm sure they rent for a ton. And then you see these parties in the backyard, and then people spill over and go back into the stadium. And then after the game, they pick the party up afterwards, right? So, now just a great setting. And like I said, the weather wasn't great, but I think that's part of it. When you're going to the Midwest in November, it probably should be cold and rainy. I turned to my nephew. I go, yeah, back in Arizona, if it starts to rain at a football game, we close the roof.
Yeah, we cancel the game.
Yeah.
Did you see Titletown too? I know they got
Titletown, the statues, all of it, man. The Ring of Honor there is like they just a snapshot out of the Hall of Fame. The names they have around that stadium. It's just so cool. And I am not a Packers fan. Don't get me wrong, but just going to that stadium was really, really cool. And I was telling you before the show, like those bucket list places you want to go in sports. You got one coming up here in a couple of weeks. You're going to Ann Arbor to see Michigan, Ohio State. I'm jealous of that. I've been to the Big House many, many times, but never to see Michigan and Ohio State.
The game and with all this Michigan sign stealing stuff, and we'll get into that during the program. But you got Michigan right now. They're up 7-3. The spread on that one was 4.5. They can close this one out. They've got Maryland next week. Looks to be both teams will be undefeated. I'm stoked to go see it live in person. I'm excited to see the hatred between these two schools, and winner moves on. Losers got to sit at home and hope for either a Big 12 or an ACC or a Pac-12 team to lose, in their conference championship to maybe squeak in.
What are you wearing to that game?
Oh, so I got my big parka from Montana, so I'm wearing the big black parka, which is partly cloudy. You can attest to this, see what I should wear. We'll talk about this either on air or off, but partly cloudy, it says partly sunny, 47 degrees, 45 is what I'm seeing right now.
You know what? Just as long, and this is how I looked at it with the Packers game, just as long as it's not raining or snowing, you're cool. Like, okay, cool. If it's in the 40s for a football game with 110,000 of your closest friends, you're going to be in good shape.
But I got
if
some
it starts
pants.
to rain, you got to be prepared.
I got some pants. I got a hoodie, but I got a windbreaker over top in case it does rain. It's repellent, but I'm excited. 113,000 people there. Or 115, 120.
How many of they can squeeze in?
Maybe body heat would be nice.
No, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like I said, as long as there's no precip coming out of the sky. What else is on your bucket list, Jackson, in terms of places that you would like to go? Places like stadiums, games, events you'd like to see?
Definitely on the SEC side of things, I'd love to go to either an Alabama LSU game like we saw this last. I feel like every Alabama LSU game comes down to the wire. Or a Georgia game. I'd say definitely somewhere in the SEC would be on my bucket list next. Or I'd love to see Oklahoma, Texas, because that atmosphere looked insane. The split down the stadium. What about you, Gross?
I've been, mine is more venue driven. Like, I told you before the show, I've been to now Wrigley Field. I've been to Fenway Park, Lambeau Field. I also, and I don't know if you count this or not, but Rock and I and CJ, we went to Dodger Stadium back when we were in Los Angeles doing our coverage of the Kings Coyotes Western Conference Final a bunch of years ago. So I think Dodger Stadium is kind of on that list, right? So mine is more venue driven. But if you look at a matchup I'd love to see, I would love to go to an Army-Navy game, wherever they play it. They're usually in Philadelphia or Washington, Baltimore. They're in those big East Coast cities. They kind of rotated around. So I would love to go to Army Navy. I've been to Air Force Navy. I've been to Air Force Army, but I've never been to Army Navy. So I would love to see that. Like you, I would love to go see Michigan, Ohio State. I've been to a bunch of Michigan games. I remember vividly the first game that I went to as a youngster. My dad took me to a Michigan-Minnesota football game, which was so cool. Ann Arbor on game day is amazing. SEC is on that list, and I don't know that I have a matchup necessarily, Jackson, but I would love to go to an SEC night game, like take Vanderbilt off the list, but like Oxford, Mississippi. Like I've
heard the Grove is great tailgating.
Yes, but I think there's difference between the SEC as in a day game and a night game in the SEC. It's just like the Michigan Penn State game. Penn State is and I'm a Michigan
Whiteout definitely on the bucket list too.
But Happy Valley, I think would be infinitely better at night for a game like this. And I think if I'm Penn State, I'm lobbying to play Michigan or Ohio State when they come in. I want that to be a night game every time because it's just a better venue.
It stunk that they had Iowa this year. That was their whiteout game, which kind of stunk. Every other year, you'd see the Ohio States, the Michigans.
Yeah.
Next year, Ohio State's going to go to Penn State. You'd assume that'd be a night game, to your point.
And I hope we'll get all into this, but with the conference realignment, it needs to stay kind of those traditional Michigan or Ohio State. Like, don't give me USC at night. Like,
I'd love Washington or Oregon, though. That's the only exception for me. Washington at night or Oregon at night. Again, new quarterbacks next year. We'll see how that translates. But yeah, just don't give me Northwestern as a night game there in Penn State.
Or Iowa, like they had this year. Donovan Edwards just punched it in for the Wolverines, and we'll get into this later. Maybe we'll do it in the next segment. We're going to get into this Michigan situation. They're wearing this thing like a badge of courage. And what's the old saying about tugging on Superman's cape? Michigan is having a good year anyway, and they are now doing it with a chip on their shoulder, which could get interesting. All right, he's Jackson Groff. I'm Mike Gross. We are out at the CAZ Sportsbook, Casino, Arizona, Loop 101 in McKellips. Come on out and see us. Like I said, it's filling up nice. TV's fired up, ready to go. Drink specials are here. They got a great menu. We both had the breakfast burrito today, as we do each and every Saturday. Got us fueled up and ready to go to do this show. Coming up, no Marco D'Angelo this week.
He's at Penn State.
In his contract, it is written in that he gets to take the show off only if he's doing something cool. And so Marco said, hey, I'm going to Michigan, Penn State. Does that count as cool? We ran it by the suits in the corporate office. They came back and said, yeah, that's cool. So we gave Marco the day off. Fear not, he will return next week at 12:30 for his usual slot. So no Marco this week. But we'll get our usual cast of characters going. We'll make our picks later on in the show and bring you as much about sports gambling and, college football front and center. We're going to step aside. Be right back. Sports 910.
Clear the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Need a new big screen for the football season? Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light has your chance right now. Text PEAKS to 59925. Standard message and data rates apply. That's PEAKS to 59925.
The mania comes early to the Valley in November with the inaugural Arizona Tip-Off College Basketball Tournament featuring local teams, the GCU Lopes and the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks, plus teams from the SEC and Big East conferences. Be there for 3 days of thrilling basketball action November 17th, 18th, and 19th at Desert Diamond Arena. Tickets start at just $15. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss the inaugural Arizona Tip-Off at Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com now.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Come chill and get your fill at Arena Sports Grill. Arena Sports Grill is your home for Nebraska Cornhusker football and the National Football League. Watch all your favorite sports, plus off-track wagering with the ponies. Arena even caters to the night owls with breakfast on the weekends till 2. NFL Mondays and Thursdays are packed with happy hour specials daily till 7 and other incredible drink and food specials. It's Arena Sports Grill, 64th Street in Bell, North Scottsdale's friendly sports bar since 1998.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. So minivans, sedans, JDMs, roll out. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. And with eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
What's up, everyone? It's Damian Lillard, and Bose knows how important music is to my daily routine. That's when I'll go and like a lyricist, a storyteller, somebody that you got to be able to hear clear. The immersive audio is perfect for that. It literally puts you in a space of quiet, quality sound. Just plug them in and get to it. Discover more at Bose.com. Bose, sound is power.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
You're live.
Welcome back in. Mike Gross, Jackson Groff, taking up to 1 o'clock today. Bauer with the day off. He'll be back next week. And a lot of people, Jackson, gathered around the TVs here watching Michigan and Penn State from Happy Valley. It's a whiteout at Penn State. And looking at the sheet here that we get at Casino, Arizona every Saturday, Michigan went off at a 4.5-point favorite, and they had the point total at that one at 44.5. And right now, Michigan looking pretty good, minus the coach dealing with all the headaches they got going on.
Yeah, it's questionable to see where Jim Harbaugh is right now. No one knows where he's at. Is he at the hotel? Is he on the airplane? Is he back in Ann Arbor? Is he in the locker room? Is he up in the box? Or is he a disguise on the sideline like we saw with Connor Stallions? The world may never know. But Michigan is up 14-3, like Mike Gross said. Some things to highlight from this game. 3 minutes left in the second quarter, and Michigan is running the ball well. 106 yards, 2 touchdowns on 15 carries, highlighted by a Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum touchdown. Penn State's been able to run the football as well. They've got 87 yards on the ground, but the biggest thing here, what this game is going to come down to is converting third downs. Michigan's 3 of 5. Penn State, 1 of 5. So can Penn State convert third downs? They're in the red zone right now, looking to respond after being down 14-3.
Yeah, and obviously the backdrop of this game, I mean, it was a huge game anyway. Huge game with national championship, national college football playoff implications. But then the whole sign stealing, I hate to use the word scandal because it's so overused.
Yeah,
but
scandal sounds like worse. Scandal, you think of like, Paterno, and you think of like some like bad things.
Issue?
Issue. Cheating.
I don't know.
Yeah,
and it just seemed like, and I don't particularly like Colin Cowherd. I'm not a huge listener of his fan, but he put something out on social media a couple weeks ago. I might have sent it to you, Jackson, where he said, "Look, if this was Purdue, you wouldn't care. It's Michigan. It's the knock somebody off their pedestal thing. And part of the backdrop that's come out is like." Michigan's not the only one doing it. And again, it's not an excuse. You don't, like, if you break the rule, the excuse in my book, you don't say, well, I broke the rule because Jackson did too. But if you're going to punish one, you should probably punish all if that's it. And then the other thing, nothing moves as fast in NCAA sports. I mean, this story broke, 2-3 weeks ago? And you've already suspended a coach. That's unheard of, to move that quickly in NCAA sports. So I don't know. I don't know where it's going to end up. I don't know. It's just it's a distraction that I don't know if the Big Ten wants right now. But they're both feet.
It's one of those things that makes me mad too, because the investigation hasn't gone through. They haven't found proof or evidence that Jim Harbaugh himself knew. And there's assistants that were close with him that were previously at Michigan that tweeted out that said, like, this one guy, I forget his name, but he was
at Charlotte.
Yeah, he was at Charlotte. He said that he's so close with him, like whatever Jim Harbaugh knew, his wife knew, and then he knew as well. Jim Harbaugh seems like one of those guys that's a really good guy. Now, does he know this? I honestly, my take on this, I think Connor Stallions said, hey, I want to have an advantage. I'm an assistant on this program. I want to come up with ways to look better with the manifesto and maybe move up in the coaching ranks at Michigan. And if this doesn't get the amount of attention it does on the sports media page, you wonder what the NCAA and the Big Ten would do when it comes to a punishment standpoint. Yeah. I think it's ridiculous. It came out that Jim Harbaugh and his attorney are going to come back. So, yes, he's suspended from this game right now, probably in Maryland. But hopefully Ohio State, he can come back because, I mean, regardless if you're an Ohio State fan or a Michigan fan, I think you want both teams at their strength. But, again, Michigan's done with this before. They dealt with this beginning of the season. Does Jim Harbaugh on the sideline win or lose? Does that matter that much? Not really. But having Jim Harbaugh and him being a leader is also a big thing that Michigan needs.
Yeah, and look, the other thing that I know, and I've talked about this before when it came to college coaches, whether it's basketball or football coaches, and what do they know that's going on in their program? And you know this. You played at a big-time school in the Big Sky. Head coaches in those programs are control freaks. They are control freaks. Jim Harbaugh knows what's going on in his program. I'm not speaking specifically about this, but I also think that something of this magnitude would not go on if he didn't know about it, or could not go on without him knowing about it. And if he found out that it was going on, he would either condone it or put a stop to it, right? So I'm not buying that excuse. And look, I'm a Michigan fan. I don't hide that at all, right? So if it was happening, he knew it. I'm sorry. I mean that much is true. But you look at it. It happened in the SEC. They considered it to be a secondary type of thing. So I don't know, but it's a backdrop that I don't know if the Big Ten really needs right now.
It just makes me mad because I think some of the people out there, some of the pundits, people in our profession, think that sign stealing of Michigan is the reason why they're so successful, why they're winning most of these games. No, it's the talent, it's the depth, it's all what they have on the football field. You can know all the signs you want. They could have known the signs for TCU, loss. Georgia a couple years ago, loss. Like, you can't physically beat teams week in and week out just based on their signs. Now, there's certain plays that they even have on film from Ohio State, run right. They stopped him for a play, okay? But maybe they thought a pass play that they had another video of Connor Stalions mouthing, pass right, or it's going to Ibuka, or it's going to Marvin Harrison Jr. What happens? Touchdown Marvin Harrison Jr. So you got both sides of it. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of hearing about it every day. I'm tired of it. But, again, it's one of those things in sports where there's a scandal issue going on right now. People are going to talk about it as much as possible. And it's not even close to being over yet. And it stinks for these players because now they got to deal with, every single conversation being, well, what do you think about Connor Stalions? Or what do you think about this and all this stuff going on in their program? Let's just talk about football and what's going on the field. And
the quote you were referring to earlier, Jackson, came from the Charlotte 49ers head coach who used to work at Michigan, Biff Poggi. And his exact quote was on Twitter, on X. He said, I've been quiet on the Michigan situation, but no longer. I was close to Jim Harbaugh over the last 3 years, closer than anyone except his wife and kids. If Jim knew, I would have known. I didn't know, and neither did he. I staked my reputation on it. Stop letting him the team. That's what the 49ers head coach. You've had other coaches who work with say essentially the same thing. So that's where we're at right now on this, and we'll see what happens. But I'm thinking that you make an outstanding point. You look at Michigan. If let's 100% of everything that they say happened actually did happen. That's not why Michigan's the one right now. Because to your point, if it's true, it would be Texas Christian. They didn't. They got whacked by Texas Christian. And that's why they're rolling most of these teams, right? The talent on this team is second to none as that game moves to halftime, 14-9. Michigan leads Penn State at Happy Valley. So I don't know. We'll keep going. It's a distraction that college football doesn't need. It's a distraction that the Big Ten certainly doesn't need. And it's a referendum on this new commissioner who was thrown both feet into the fire as a brand new guy. And he looks like he's playing to the masses as opposed to, looking for some sort of due process here.
The thing that's nice about this whole situation right now with NIL and the transfer portal, I could be wrong with this, Gross. You've covered the sports. You've done sports radio and covered all sports for longer than I have. This seems like the most buzz around college football that it's been around in a while, which is great for the sport that people can talk about, different teams and what Jalen Milroe did last week and, things going on in Texas and Michigan and the playoff and all this kind of stuff. So I'm all for it. More attention to the sport. We're a hell of a year for college football. We're not even at rivalry week yet.
Not even at rivalry week. Yeah, that's an outstanding point. And we're just getting there, right? Mid-November is when things really pick up. And, like I said, it's an unfortunate distraction. But, hey, we'll see. All right, here's Jackson Golf. I'm at the CAZ Sportsbook, Casino, Arizona. How about this? We'll take care of some business. As we said, Marco not with us this week, so we have the next segment free. Let's do this. We'll take a deep dive into the scoreboard. 9-10.
The points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free. From Jimmy B. In Casino, Arizona. Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports paradise. The guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. You ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. BKD's were the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
I often get asked, how can Lerner Rowe effectively handle DUI and criminal cases when you guys are a personal injury law firm? The answer is simple. We're good at it. Lerner Rowe Law Group is a separate law firm from Lerner Rowe Injury Attorneys, and we have some of the most experienced criminal defense attorneys available, including one of only a few certified criminal attorneys in Arizona who have handled thousands of criminal and DUI cases. And we offer affordable payment plans. Getting the defense you need is one phone call away.
Lerner Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Golfers, swing into Vans Golf Shops for the hottest new fall arrivals from TaylorMade, Callaway, and Titleist. Come by and test drive the new TaylorMade P790 irons, the new Callaway Apex Pro iron sets, and the new Titleist T-Series irons. While you're there, get a free custom fit on the new arrivals and more. Gear from all the top manufacturers. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
See your Valley Chevy dealers today during Chevy's truck season. Every truck has a story. Make yours a story. It's see your Valley Chevy dealers today.
Days of 18th and 19th at Desert Diamond Arena. Tickets start at just $15. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss the inaugural Arizona tip-off at Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com now.
Escape the scorching heat and get indoors at Putting World's 18-hole putting experience. Stay cool while mastering the greens and having a blast with family and friends. Visit Putting World today.
Sun Devil football returns to Mountain America Stadium to take on the Oregon Ducks Saturday, November 18th for the Salute to Service game.
Orgay will throw for the quarter for a touchdown.
Get your ASU Oregon tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
And he's going to go for the 20. Touchdown Devils.
For a new TV, Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B are giving away 5 65-inch smart TVs. Text PEAKS to 59925. That's PEAKS to 59925. Standard message and data rates apply. Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree blue moon and Coors Light man-sized drafts.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier year rewards program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties in their amazing club offering limitless free on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Today's news requires more facts, more context, and more analysis. The world's never been harder to understand. That's why it's never been more important to try. MSNBC. Understand more.
F3 Energy's got some free prizes for you. In fact, it's a $100 gift card to Amazon. Here's how you win. Just go to 1047kissfm.com/contest. Enter the win. 10 lucky winners are going to get a $100 Amazon gift card. Thanks to F3 Energy.
Goldberg Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio app? Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free contests. Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations. It's free. I love iHeartRadio. Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
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 Free never sounded so good.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar, Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
4 games in the early window featuring top 25 teams. Jackson, let's take a look at the scoreboard right now, see what we got going on, and see what it means from a wagering standpoint.
Yeah, the biggest one, 3 Michigan at 10 Penn State. Halftime is upon us. 14-9 is the score. Michigan ahead of that one. And I believe that line is pretty close to what the score is right now.
The line was 4.5, and that is right on it. You know, if you're depending on which way you went, that half point matters with the missed 2-point conversion from the Nittany Lions there on their touchdown as the second quarter wound down. 44.5 was the total on that one as well.
8 Alabama at Kentucky. Kentucky's quarterback Devin Leary just threw another interception. Alabama's up big. 5 minutes left in the second quarter. 28-7. Alabama.
What do we say about Alabama? Discount them at your own peril. Alabama was a 10.5-point favorite, and the point total there was 46.5. They're well on their way to that number. That game still 2.5 to go before they get to the half.
I know all the undefeated teams get attention, and deservingly so. But when you look at the best one-loss team in the country, you got Alabama, Oregon, and Texas fighting for their life right now. Alabama and Oregon might be the 2 hottest teams. As an Oregon fan, just walked in when I was talking about Oregon. Might be the 2 hottest teams in the country right now. Jalen Milroe finally finding his footing, and they're up big. Big upset alert. Texas Tech at halftime up 10-0 against Kansas. Kansas quarterback Jason Bean hurt. Jalen Daniels hurt. Third-string quarterback Ballard is in the game, and they're down 10 at halftime.
That game was 4.5-point favorite for the Jayhawks, and the point total 62.5. So no points being scored by the Jayhawks. That happens when you get to your third-string quarterback. And, oh, by the way, Jackson, that game in Lawrence, Kansas today. And I heard people talking about that. You talk about the change in the way people view this Kansas football program. 2 losses, and they're still ranked number 16 in the country.
Yeah, I think with the Oklahoma win there, with how they played Texas, interesting. We'll see how that plays out. And then lastly, there's been a lot of Group of 5 talk, and we thought Air Force Protected was going to be in the Fiesta Bowl. They got rolled against Army last week. So Tulane is currently the Group of 5 odds-on favorite to make the New Year's Six. They're the highest-ranked non-Power 5, team. They're cleaning up 14-10 against Tulsa at home. A little bit of a scare there for Tulane. They got to pull this one out, and then they got to win the American Athletic.
And they were a huge favorite. They were 23.5-point favorites heading into this one, Jackson. And 53.5 was the over/under on that one. Great story, though. Tulane football was left to the side of the road, left for dead, and came all the way back. And now, as you said, in the conversation for a New Year's Day game. A great story. I love that, and it's good when communities and universities rally around programs, and you definitely had that at Tulane. All right, I want to switch over to the Pac-12 right now, as we've got a big full schedule of games coming up. So first and foremost, Jackson, we got the early game, I guess, if you want to call it. No 9 a.m. game in the Pac-12 today. Kickoff at noon Arizona time. We've got the Wildcats in Boulder. 21-ranked Wildcats. I apologize, Jackson. You were right about the Wildcats. I was wrong.
Over 3.5 wins on the season. They're at 6, going for 7.
They blew by that like it was standing still. 9.5-point favorites. Think about this. Where Arizona was a year ago, and just everything you just said, they're 6-3 right now. They're 4-2. They're ranked 16th in the 21st in the country. And there's a team that's going on the road right now, and they're nearly a double-digit favorite. You talk about finally flipping a switch. Maybe the Teddy Bruschi speech did them solid, where he said, look, stop telling me about potential. Stop telling me about how good you think you're going to be. Close some games. And ever since Teddy Bruschi kind of lit him up in that press conference when he was in Tucson for the bowl game, the Wildcats have responded.
And I think the best part for Arizona Wildcats fans is most of the contributing players are young players, freshmen or sophomores. And I looked back when we talked before the season, Gross, about the Pac-12's media poll. and who he would change around. I said Arizona at 6 over UCLA to swap because of the establishment at quarterback. I said that with Delora.
Yeah.
Little did I know the establishment at quarterback was with Noah Fafita. This guy does not turn the ball over. He's a game manager. And I mentioned Jacob Cowling on the outside. McMillan, his high school teammate, those two are fun to watch. Cowling is in the mix as well. And then you got Justin Flo on the defense. And we talked to people 2 weeks ago with Justin Spears. He said the biggest thing was his defense. I've never seen an Arizona defense like this since maybe, the Scooby Wright days or the 90s from what you remember. But it seems fun to watch. And kudos to Jed Fish. 7-3 if they can win this game, but not only on top of that to make a bowl game. And you mentioned the NIL money coming in on the program with Arizona. Maybe they get some transfer guys. This guy's a limit for this team. Fafita and even Jonah Coleman. Didn't even mention him. He's a sophomore running back. He's got 565 yards, 3 touchdowns. But Gross, I'll throw it back to you.
Flip side of that is the Colorado Buffaloes came off of the shoot like a house of fire, winning 3 games in a row at TCU, beating Nebraska, and that epic overtime game against Colorado State that drew such big numbers. Since then, it's been a struggle. Once they hit the Pac-12, Jackson, they've lost 5 of the 6 games they played in the Pac-12. The lone win coming here in Tempe, where they edged ASU 27-24 a couple weeks ago. And now you look at a team where we were talking about it on this show, like, hey, you're lining up to get Colorado to your bowl because of the attention that it's going to bring, and the Deion Sanders and the Coach Prime and everything like that. You want that part of your bowl game. Now you look at this schedule. You've got home against Arizona today at Washington State, and you close it out with Utah on the road. You're not getting to bowl eligibility with that schedule so far as I can tell.
Well, my question to you, Gross. Wazoo at Wazoo. We've seen teams in the past. Right now, there's not enough teams that are 6-6 to get bowl eligible. There's discussion about James Madison and Jacksonville State. Maybe even taking those spots. Their bowl. What do you call it? Not banned, but
they're in their transition period to bowl division.
Okay, exactly.
Right? So they were in the championship division. Now they're moving up, and you have to sit out and not go to bowl games, not play for conference championships as part of that transition.
For money reasoning, if they win 5 games, do you think Colorado makes a bowl game? I think they do.
If anybody does, it's Colorado, but they won't get it at 4 where they sit right now. And as I said, this is a tough one. I mean, you got home game. You'd like to think if you're a Colorado fan playing at home, maybe recapture that magic a little bit, and you can beat this Arizona team, knock them off their pedestal a little bit. Maybe that's your thinking if you're a Colorado fan. Just what you were saying, going to Washington State. Washington State, one of the disappointments in the Pac-12 this year. They were a top 25 team early on. They went and beat Wisconsin in Madison, or was that game in Pullman? Either way.
That was in Pullman.
Either way, they beat Wisconsin this year. Right, and then, of course, closing it out with Utah. That's a tough slate. You go on the road twice. And I think what Deion Sanders is starting to see is you can bring in all the skill players you want, right? And you were very, very successful in you mentioned the transfer portal, bringing in the skill players. They did a great job. When you're playing in a conference schedule, you need to have the big butts up front on both sides of the ball. And you look at what's happening to Colorado on offense right now. Their offensive line has been a huge disappointment, but I don't think it can be that surprising. You don't build an offensive line out of the transfer portal. I think you were spot on in your assessment of Arizona. You built the team from the ground up through recruiting. You take your time, 2-3 year process to build it up, and then you add a piece here, you add a piece there through the transfer portal. You don't bring in the guys you need in the trenches through the transfer portal, I don't believe.
Speaking of, you talked about Utah before. I want to get throughout the slate before we get to our next segment. 18 Utah at 5. Washington favored by 8 points. Utah coming off of a tough loss against Oregon, bounced back against ASU. Washington coming back from USC. Their little 2 road game stretch. How do you see this one playing out, Gross?
Washington, as you said, 8.5-point favorite. Man, they seem like they're on a mission now, right? And obviously, Utah getting it done with not their starting quarterback is redshirting this year due to injury, unfortunately for them. Still a good team. I mean, you look at what I said about Colorado. Utah is that. That interior of the Utah team on both sides is what I think Colorado would aspire to. But I still just think Washington's way too talented, and Washington at home against a limited team offensively for Utah if the scoring starts, if it picks up, the pace picks up, it's all Washington. That 49.5, if they're approaching that and going to exceed that, that's not a good sign for Utah. They've got to keep it close and hope for the best.
For Utah, I like Utah. I love Kyle Whittingham, but the thing that separates them from other Utah teams is they don't really have the talent on the outside, the wide receivers or the tight ends that they've had in the past. For Washington, you question, can they run the football? And we saw that last week with Dylan Johnson. So now their ability to run the football, their ability to have, a Dunze, Polk, and McMillan on the outside as well as the Heisman favorite right now, Michael Penix.
Michael Penix, I think, is a difference, though.
Yeah, I think he is, and his ability to extend plays. They're now being able to rush the quarterback. Can they match the physicality of Utah, though? Because Utah is going to bring the physicality, especially on the road. Kyle Whittingham and those guys are going to get them set. So I'm excited for that game. 8 points is a lot of points. I'll probably lead Washington at home there.
Tonight at the Rose Bowl, UCLA hosts Arizona State. The Sun Devils are 16.5-point underdogs. Point total on that one, 44.5. We knew it was going to be tough for ASU this year. They did get that win, and I think now you just look at and injuries. My goodness, you were thin to begin with, and every time you look in on an ASU game or you look at social media about an ASU game, you've got an injury conversation going on. I hate to say this because I like what they're building there. I like the vibe around this program, but you knew it was going to be tough, and so
I think the future's bright for ASU. You had Jaden Rashada to start the year off. You saw the talent with him. He gets hurt. You had Bourget. He gets hurt. Conover doesn't really give you that spark on the offensive side of the ball. But, feed the ball to Scottaboo. Hope for the best. Get him and Elijah Badger gone. But, again, UCLA's defense is stout, and with the offensive line being unhealthy for ASU and the defensive line, which is one of the best in the Pac-12 and UCLA, it's going to be a long day for the Sun Devils.
Just a tough stretch down. 3 remaining for the Devils today at UCLA, at home against Oregon. And obviously the territorial team, which will be played in Tempe this year.
Then the last game, you wanted to talk about this one, which we can talk about it more on the other side of the
other hour
too. But USC at Oregon, that's an 8:30 game. Your quick thoughts, and we can talk about it in our next segment.
Yeah, we don't have enough time to get into it. 15.5-point favorite in Corvallis. In Eugene, the Ducks are tonight. 76.5 is the point on that one. Man, the wheels have fallen off on USC, and I'm looking at myself. You, Bauer, and I, when we made our picks, I said, look, if the USC defense doesn't let them down, this is a team that I think can win the Pac-12 and perhaps represent the Pac-12 in college football players because recognition. No, that's true. No, that's true. I could not have been more wrong on my assessment of USC. It's hugely surprising. I'm not use the word disappointing, but you saw the reaction of Caleb Williams after that game last week. I mean, where do you go from there?
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks. They fired Alex Grinch, so the defense is not going to change that much. Still going to run a similar, maybe the approach is different. Maybe they'll try to switch up some personnel there, but at Oregon, it's going to be loud, especially 8:30 kickoff or 7:30 on the Pacific side of things, but it's going to be a night game. Caleb Williams is going to have to carry. I'm wondering to see how he'll bounce back, how he'll play this game. I know some people think he's going to sit out for the season. I really don't think that. I think he's got the heart and the want for it. Bowl game, I don't know about bowl game. But, again, it's weird to think that USC, they lose tonight, which they're probably going to lose, 7-4. 7-4 after making the Pac-12 championship just a year ago.
And that goes back to what I said when we were doing our picks this year. If at the start of the season, if I would have come to you guys and said, here's a team that's 7-4, and then you ended up with UCLA, there's no guarantee there either. The way you're playing, you guys would have laughed me off the radio.
Yeah.
So it's just I want to talk more about this USC thing on the other side. He's Jackson Groff. I'm Mike Gross. We are Arizona, Loop 101 O'Kellips, taking up to 1 o'clock. Coming out and see us. We'll step aside. Be right back on Fox Sports 9.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. Here we go. Steve Cavino.
Ooh.
Rich Davis.
Yes.
This is Cavino and Rich.
What if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl? Will Taylor Swift be able to attend? She's going to be in Japan and has a concert the night before the Super Bowl. And if you do the math, the flight is 11 and a half hours. So if Taylor left right after her Saturday concert, she could get home, get a little rest, and go to the Super Bowl.
Cavino and Rich, Monday at 4. Listen to Fox Sports 910 anywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the scenic views stick around after the sun sets, and your favorite to unwind with bourbon and late-night bites. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Have you been charged with a crime you didn't commit? It happens more than you think. When your liberty is on the line, you need an experienced attorney that will aggressively fight for you. Lerner & Rowe Law Group handles DUI and all other criminal charges. And with our affordable payment plans, it's easier than you think to get the defense you need. If the police made a mistake, call Lerner & Rowe today. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take your call.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
How's the golf game? Need help with that putter? Win free golf membership or putter fitting from Putting World in Scottsdale. Just text PUTT to 59925. That's PUTT to 59925. Standard message and data rates apply. That's PUTT to 59925.
Golfers, swing into Vans Golf Shops for the hottest new fall arrivals from TaylorMade, Callaway, and Titleist. Come by and test drive the new TaylorMade P790 irons, the new Callaway Apex Pro iron sets, and the new Titleist T-Series irons. While you're there, get a free custom fitting on the new arrivals and more. Vans Golf Shops is your headquarters for all the latest golf gear from all the top manufacturers. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
See your Valley Chevy dealers today during Chevy's truck season. Every truck has a story. Make yours a strong one. It's Chevy truck season. See your Valley Chevy dealers today.
The mania comes early to the Valley in November with the inaugural Arizona Tip-Off College Basketball Tournament featuring local teams, the GCU Lopes and the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks, plus teams from the SEC and Big East conferences. Be there for 3 days of thrilling basketball action November 17th, 18th, and 19th at Desert Diamond Arena. Tickets start at just $15. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss the inaugural Arizona Tip-Off at Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com now.
Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
A homeowner just like you.
Hey.
Decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the backside of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
Arizona's largest locally owned A-plus BBB rated towing company is All City Towing. They're always looking to add motivated and competitive team members. Do you fit the bill? If so, to allcity.com/careers for information.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're not just a sports bar. We're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, get ready to score big on fun and flavor. Only at BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day. Check us out online at bkdsbackyard.com. That's bkdsbackyard.com.
Maricopa County Air Quality Department encourages everyone to burn cleaner, burn better. Consider converting your existing wood-burning fireplace to gas or electric. And please remember, on no burn days, do not burn wood.
Okay, next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today. Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer, and some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate razor, while others need a Gillette anti-chafe stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
Back to Take the Points. You're live by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Mike Gross, Jackson Groff with you from the CAZ Sportsbook, Casino, Arizona. Take up to 1 o'clock today. We'll get into the NFL. We'll get into Kyler Murray making his return tomorrow, but that's going to have to wait till our second hour.
Shots, few. I'm Jonathan Gannon. Shots, few.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interest in a game that otherwise wouldn't have a ton of interest when you have a not so good Atlanta Falcons team playing at a not good Arizona Cardinal team. Lots of interest on that one, and part of it is where we're going to pick up where we left off is this whole USC conversation and the future of Caleb Williams. And he made some headlines, Jackson, where he was talking about, well, I don't have to come out, right? I don't have to come out if I'm going to be drafted by a team where I don't want to go. And a lot of people assumed he was talking about the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know that that's necessarily true because I don't know that the Arizona Cardinals are going to get the first pick in the NFL draft this year. When you look at it right now, Carolina right now ahead of them. They have an easier schedule, so I think that's the first tiebreaker if you both come in at the same record. Both of them 1-8 right now, and the draft would, if it happened today, would have Carolina, the pick they got from the Chicago Bears, going first. So I don't know. Caleb Williams, this is just an interesting thing, and it ties us back to where we left off, the mess that's USC. Because before, when people were saying that, they were assuming this was a team that was going to be making noise in the college football postseason. And as bad as it's gotten in Los Angeles, and with the uncertainty around your head coach, because there's a lot of conversation, does Lincoln Riley stick around? What happens to Caleb Williams? And I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's just a fascinating subplot around a team that's gone off the rails.
Yeah, you'll definitely see an NFL franchise come out with maybe, hey, Lincoln Riley, the ones that are near the top. And I'm looking at, the top four right now, courtesy of Tankathon. The Bears, maybe. The Bears could be a team that say, hey, we want Lincoln Riley. We'll pay you all the money. We'll cover what USC did when Lincoln was at Oklahoma. Could Chicago do that with Lincoln Riley? And then if they were to get Lincoln Riley, it'd be the odds-on favor for Caleb Williams to follow him too. But you also take into account, can he coach in the NFL with what you've seen on his defensive struggles in college? Would that carry over to the NFL? I don't know. The personnel there in the NFL's defense would be,
right,
you would assume would be better, but especially if you got Montez Sweat. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on. I don't know if I buy the whole Caleb Williams thing another year. I think he's going to go to the NFL. You're the number one overall pick, clean slate. We haven't seen a guy that's been number one like this in a clean slate since, Trevor Lawrence, I think, a couple years ago. So he's got the talent. He can ball out. He can play great football, and he can do everything that you ask for a quarterback. It's going to be interesting to see what the other quarterbacks do when it comes to NIL, like the Quinn Ewers, the Riley Leonards, because there's so many good guys like J.J. McCarthy starting to go up the boards. Yep. Nick's starting to go up the boards. Michael Penix. There's so many. Even Drake May at number 2. So it'll be interesting to see. But, yeah, as your point for USC, 16-point underdog tonight, 8:30. It's going to be rocking. But Caleb Williams, he's probably going to have to throw for 5-6 touchdowns just to keep up pace with this Bo Nix offense.
And coming back to where this USC team is, if you go back 5 weeks, think about the game they had at home where they had to go and beat Arizona 43-41, right? And, Arizona fans will tell you we should have won that game. Then you fast forward, they were at Notre Dame. They lose by 28 points to a Notre Dame team that's not a great Notre Dame team. Let's call it what it is. Then you lose to Utah. Then you beat Cal, Berkeley. Remember, people forget that was a 1-point win in Berkeley. And then the game against Washington a week ago. And it's come apart for USC. It's very expected. Look, I'm going to say something, and people get me for this, and I don't. If you are a fan of the Pac-12, you need USC to be good. It's the Yankees of baseball. I don't know, the Cowboys. You can hate the Cowboys and appreciate the fact that when they are good, people pay attention. USC is that to college football. Notre Dame is that to college football. right? But you can talk about Utah and the great years they've had, and taking nothing away from Kyle Whittingham, because I agree with, I know you're a fan. They don't move the needle the way USC does, right? And that's where I think for the Pac-12 in their final year, to have a team like USC be in the mix would have been so good. It would have been so good, and that's part of the disappointment. And then the other part of the disappointment is their roster is better than virtually anybody in the Pac-12 right now. How is this happening? So many questions around how the wheels have come off at this team. And as you said, they lose today. They are 7-4 if they lose today.
Yeah, that's crazy to even think they were the odds-on favorite, and they were picked by the media to win the Pac-12. And the fact that they could be 7-4 and be on the bottom half of the conference is something that it's going to be weird. But I'm excited to see how it pans out with Oregon, with Oregon State, so with Arizona in the mix if something happens, or even Washington. Oregon rematch in Vegas would be must-see TV.
Absolutely. Caleb Williams out of the Heisman Trophy conversation because of what's happened there. All right, that's going to do it for hour number one. We promise on the other side we will talk NFL. NFL Talk 2. Take the points. He's Jackson Croft. I'm Mike Gross. We're at the CAZ Sportsbook, Casino, Arizona, Loop 101 in McKellips. Come on out and see us. We'll be right back on Fox Sports 910.
Clear. Hi, this is Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We started in 1998 with our original store in Tempe. Fast forward to 2023 with 6 stores across the valley. We've had a lot of fun along the way, including our pizza eating challenge and our appearance on the show Breaking Bad. Thank you to our employees and customers for 25 fantastic years. We have never changed our core ingredients or recipes, and every pizza is made by hand. I'm a proud 1998 ASU alum and the official pizza partner of ASU Athletics. Learn more about our story at venezias.com.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Today's news requires more facts, more context, and more analysis. The world's never been harder to understand. That's why it's never been more important to try. MSNBC. Understand more.
I'm Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer lawyer. When it comes to your personal injury case, I'm straight to the point. I'll answer your call, no BS.
F3 Energy's got some free prizes for you. In fact, it's a $100 gift card to Amazon. Here's how you win. Just go to 1047kissfm.com/contest, enter the win. 10 lucky winners are going to get a $100 Amazon gift card thanks to F3 Energy.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fried co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of JVC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nuggets, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Monday from 10 to 1. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix, an iHeart radio station. And here's what you need to know.
College football scores on a Saturday. Michigan right now, number 3 team in the nation, leads number 10 Penn State 14-9. Michigan currently second in goal. 5:40 left in the third quarter in that matchup. You can catch that one on Fox TV. Of course, Jim Harbaugh not on the sideline coaching this matchup right now. Number 8, Alabama leads Kentucky 28-7 at the half. Number 16, Kansas trailing the Texas Tech 10-0 halfway through the third quarter. Number 23, Tulane with a 21-0 lead over Tulsa just after halftime. Number 21, Arizona and Colorado kicking off shortly. Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins ruled out for tomorrow's game against Houston with a hamstring. Jamar Chase still questionable on the injury report with a back injury. Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray makes his first start on Sunday, 11 months after tearing his ACL. And Detroit Lions running back David Montgomery missed the last 2 games with a rib. He's set to return in Sunday's matchup against the Chargers. I'm Martin Weiss.
This is the My Guy Referrals Weather Center. Visit myguy.com for 5-star local referrals. Make My Guy your guy.
What a beautiful Veterans Day out there. We're going to top out under the sunshine at about 81 degrees. Overnight, fair skies at 56. And for your Sunday, sunshine a bit warmer, the high 85. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Corey McCloskey.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer, where if you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of hospitalization from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus. Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com.
Time for Arizona's only local sports gambling radio show. Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now, take the Points on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Hour number 2. Jackson Croft, Mike Gross, we're with you from the CAZ Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona. We spent the entire break watching Michigan drive on Penn State. What, they take a timeout there?
They took a field goal.
Oh, they did kick it.
17-9 Michigan.
I was not paying attention. I was doing show stuff here. We got.
You know what I loved about that, though, Gross?
What's that?
Is they did not listen to the analytics of, 4th and goal on the 3-yard line. You're most likely going to get it. No, let's take the points. Let's be up 8. Trust our defense. Things that we didn't see against with Oregon and Washington. They went for it. We saw that with another team that I can't think of right now. I think it was Colorado. But I love that they took the points. They did not listen to the damn analytics.
How do you really
Kansas
feel,
State? It was Kansas State last week against Texas.
How do you really feel?
Do you not take the points, Kansas State?
Hey, coming up tomorrow, we haven't talked much NFL at all, but Kyler Murray's return. The Atlanta Falcons are at the stadium in Glendale. Kickoff tomorrow afternoon. Time change, don't forget. We didn't change our time, but all the other times around us changed. Kickoff just after 2 o'clock tomorrow. The Cardinals and the Falcons. Falcons 2-point favorites, and the total on that one, Jackson, right now sits at 43.5. I think more importantly, though, for Cardinal fans and the future of this team, this is question answering time. You know, you've got a lot of speculation. You had some national pundits out there saying, even if he's healthy, they're not going to play him because they don't want to pay him if he gets hurt. They'll try to deal with him in the offseason, so they'll let him sit. Utter nonsense. He will play. He wants to play. And the thing that I'm struck by, because people have opinions about your quarterback, no matter what town you are in watching the games. But, people have strong opinions about Kyler Murray in this town. And people that are close to the team, people that are with that team day in and day out, seem like this is a different Kyler Murray, whether it be the reality of an injury and when you have to sit back and watch, whether it be the reality of a coaching regime change. And I think at some level, particularly a starting quarterback, appreciates the fact that maybe you had something to do with the regime change, whether you like it or not. Your lack of play might have cost the previous guy, who was a very player-friendly coach, cost him his job. Whatever it is, it seems as though that we're dealing with a different Kyler Murray, more engaged. You look at him in front of the media, you hear about what he's doing in practice, and that's all fine and good, and it's nice to hear if you're a Cardinals fan, but it doesn't matter until you see him on the field and how does he perform under a new head coach, under a new offensive system, where clearly we don't know a lot about how it's going to go, but we do know that he'll be playing under center more than he has probably ever.
Yeah.
And so lots of questions to be answered for this Arizona Cardinals team, and specifically for Kyler Murray and his future with the franchise.
That's the biggest thing I'm excited about when it's all said and done, is seeing Kyler Murray in a new offensive system, an NFL-ran offensive system, an offensive coordinator with NFL experience calling plays in the NFL, what we did not see from Cliff Kingsbury. You mentioned under center. I don't expect a lot of design quarterback runs for Kyler Murray, at least early in the game. Maybe he'll scramble, maybe he'll use his legs, but he's opted not to wear a brace. That's something that the doctor recommended, that he didn't have to wear a brace. You can see the resiliency, and I think it's something that I've never gone through an ACL injury. I don't know if you've gone through an ACL injury, Gross, but for a whole year long, you could definitely – there's times when you're by yourself. There's times when you realize maybe things about your game or how you manage being a leader or on the sidelines or relationship with the coach that maybe you didn't realize if you didn't go through what he went through, the adversity of Kyler Murray. So, again, I'm excited for it. I'm a fan of how he plays the game of football. Hopefully he's more of a leader and he's more engaging with his teammates. I do worry, though, with the offensive line being injured and banged up. Hopefully James Conner can come back soon because James Conner and Kyler Murray in the backfield, it's one of the best in the NFL when you got a quarterback that's so dynamic with his legs. James Conner, who had a great season, then he gets hurt. So I'm looking at the odds on right now. Plus 280 Kyler Murray for any time touchdown scorer. You wonder if he's going to get a rushing touchdown with his legs. That's something to look out for there. And then his passing prop right now over-under is at 218.5, which seems kind of low for me. 218.5.
I agree.
That guy coming back, I don't know.
I agree. And you look at, if you're into the player props, things to look at, Hollywood is very happy that Kyler's back, right? And so it'll be interesting. And you look at this Cardinals team and, what's happened, and I'm not going to say what went wrong because I don't think anybody expected this to be a good year, but what's happened recently, you saw even in the early games the importance of having a guy that could run the ball. And James Conner going down, that was as much of a downfall as the poor play at the quarterback position, So having James Conner back, having a running game that can take pressure off whoever it is playing quarterback, I think is interesting. And you and I were talking about this during the break, Jackson. For those of you that say, all right, it's time to move on from Kyler, and there's a faction of people out there, and it's hard to argue that point. The NFL draft is a crapshoot. How do you know if you're getting Bryce Young versus C.J. Stroud? How do you know? To me, it's an interesting dilemma. Move on. Okay, what's your answer if you move on? Because you can't say, well, we'll just we'll pick some guy up, because it doesn't work that way in the NFL. It's a quarterback-driven league, and a lot of it is luck. So I don't know. But tell me, if you want to move on from Kyler, how you guarantee that I get C.J. Stroud and not Bryce Young, and then I'll take your argument 100%. Until then, I need to see what Kyler's going to do in this new system. And maybe, just maybe, you take those 2 first-round draft picks you have and build around him and build a team that doesn't put it all on the quarterback's shoulder.
Again, the contract, Steve Keim, should he have gave him that contract? No. We can all agree that contract's a little too big, and when you're rebuilding a franchise and trying to establish a different winning culture there, it's going to be tough. But to your point, Gross, I agree 100%. What do you tell guys like Budda Baker? Hey, we're going to get a rookie quarterback. Now, we're hoping he performs like a C.J. Stroud year one, but it might take a couple more years. Well, Budda Baker's like, well, I don't have a couple more years to wait around and win 2 to 3 games and build a roster for what you guys have for the future. So how does he play in a factor, or those leaders that are trying to, the veterans in that locker room? I think Kyler Murray's a great talent. I think he's a leader. I think I want to give him a chance and opportunity in these 8 games to see him in an NFL-ran franchise with a different owner, with a different GM, with a different head coach, offensive coordinator. So if he goes through the 8 games and he's struggling, cool. But I also think on the other standpoint, could you trade him? What would you get for him? Or would you just have to straight release him? And how detrimental would that be to, the dead cap or the cap room or whatever, the whole cap space? It confuses the hell out of me. Gross with all the money.
Well, and that's real, though, in the NFL. You have to factor that in. You just don't get to move on. You don't get a do-over, right? And
in this franchise,
I think we pay too much attention to the money, too. Because when Kyler got his deal, it was like, oh, man, he's a top 5 paid quarterback. Well, he's barely a top 10 paid quarterback right now, right?
Thanks to Sean Watson.
Right. Yeah. And so as these guys get paid, right, and guess who's up next? Who's not in the top 10 list? The guy over there playing for the Chargers who's going to get paid soon, right? So, don't worry about that. It's not your money. You're not giving it to him. So, it matters, like you said, with the cap, and it hurt. If you release or trade Kyler Murray, it will set you back again. So I'm really interested, and I want to see how this works out between this new staff and this quarterback. But I'm of the mind right now, put some players around him.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison Jr., that's going to make anybody better.
There's a lot more holes to fill in than just get another quarterback. Like, again, you could get another, with now 2 first-round picks, Texans picks looking around 13 to 18 with how they're playing right now. Oof. You could get another edge rusher. You get another offensive lineman, another cornerback. Like there's more holes to fill than just that that quarterback position. I agree with you. Marvin Harrison Jr. on the outside. We've seen what D-Hop did with Kyler Murray. We've seen with Larry Fitzgerald and Kyler Murray that big presence on the outside. Yep. Could Michael Wilson be that? Sure, but I think Michael Wilson could be that Steve Bresting type guy where he can be on the outside for you. You can be in the slot, but I think Michael Wilson's got potential, but you know what you're going to get from Marvin Harrison Jr. The dude's just a freak, great talent, great work ethic, but I would love Marvin Harrison Jr. There's more holes, to your point, that they need to fill for the Arizona Cardinals.
If the NFL draft happened today, the Cardinals would have the second pick, which is their own, and the 15th pick by way of the Houston Texans.
I love how we're talking about the NFL draft.
Well, when you're 1-8, you have to talk about the NFL draft. But I think it also, with the umbrella around, what do you do with Kyler? Right? And as I keep saying, it's great. Move on from Kyler. Then what? You can't just say move on. You have to answer the then what part of it. Then what do you do from the cap situation? Because you already cleaned house and took that hit when the new regime got here, knowing that this was going to be a tough year. You did a lot of that house cleaning, right? So do you want to do it for a second year and set yourself back even further? You've got a boatload of draft picks on top of the 2 first-rounders to help round out and fill this roster with the kind of players that they want. And I think they being the new regime, they did a nice job when you look at the draft class that they had from a year ago. So I think they built the trust for this fan base to say, all right, look, we think we're going to let you do your thing and not sit in the back seat and be a backseat driver.
Let Monty cook, Cardinals fans. Let Monty do what he does in the draft. We're seeing Garrett Williams. He's been looking great. Kytrell Clark. Owen Papo hasn't played yet, but he's a middle linebacker to look out for. Michael Wilson. DeMarcado, undrafted free agent. He could be a good second or third back for the future for this Arizona Cardinals team. Mm-hmm. Paris Johnson Jr., he'll establish more. We haven't even seen John Gaines at the guard position. But to your point, Gross, I think you let Monty Ossenfort do what he does best. We saw last year with this rookie class, draft guys, maybe save some money, maybe do an approach of the Chiefs approach where they just draft a ton of guys and they play them early and they fill big roles. Like, look at the Chiefs defense this year. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs defense is carrying this Chiefs whole team in games like against the Dolphins. You got their cornerbacks, Big Duffy, and you had Watson. Like, you got Karfalafagis or whatever his name is on the outside there for the edge rusher.
Yeah, that guy.
Let Monty cook when it's all said and done.
The Cardinals right now, I'm not going to go pick by pick, but the Cardinals right now sitting on 9 draft picks in the 7-round NFL draft coming up next year.
With the potential of maybe 15 if they get out of that second pick, or if they get that first overall pick, they could get some more picks to kind of, go down from that 1 or 2 spot, maybe go to the 3 or 4 and get Marvin Harrison.
And, you can see how do I put this? You have to have a plan. The Rams have a Super Bowl ring, so their plan worked, but their plan was to mortgage the future and got rid of a lot of draft picks. And you're starting to see what happens when you do that. But they got their ring, so their plan worked, right? 49ers, they did the same thing, but they don't have the ring to show for it yet. So we'll see, right, how that goes. But you look at the Cardinals compared to the Rams and the 49ers, they have almost double the number of picks they have right now. So, you gotta get a plan and you got to stick with it. And it looks like the Arizona Cardinals right now are going the draft pick route. And again, what are you going to do if you get rid of Kyler? That's going to be the ongoing question, because we will hit us up on social media. We'll talk about it on the show. You don't just get to say, move on from Kyler. Move on from Kyler, and then what has to be part of the conversation, because there are real implications to that. But it'll be interesting. Again, tomorrow at the stadium, Cardinals and the Falcons. Cardinals are 2-point underdogs, 43.5. What do you think of that number? That's an interesting number, right at the point where I don't know, because I'd like to see Kyler do well. I'd like to see him be comfortable in this new system. I'd like to see potential. But I don't know if that's going to immediately translate to a ton of points tomorrow against the Falcons team, which is, by all accounts, kind of average, right? This is a 4-win team right now. And the Falcons, they don't score a lot of points either. 43.5. If you made me pick right now, the under is kind of interesting in that game.
Yeah, 43.5. You got, again, the Falcons with Bijan Robinson. I don't know why you don't use him in the red zone. This dude's an absolute freak. Artie Smith, and Artie Smith, you can tell, is panicking a little bit. He's putting Heineke in the game as well, but it'll be a fun game. I agree with you. The under seems more reasonable with 2 struggling.
We'll step aside. We'll take a deeper look at the NFL and a quick check of the college football scoreboard. Noon games are on Fox Sports 910.
Clear the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Here comes Santa Claus right down Santa Claus Lane.
Christmas music is on 99.9 KEZ right now. Tune to 99.9 KEZ for Christmas music throughout the season.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, rock for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. On Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Jenny!
Hey, Jenny!
Jenny, come on in! Steve!
Hey, Steve!
Steve, how you doing?
Meg!
Meg, nice to see you! Hey, Meg!
Arena Sports Grill. Come on out for the sports, off-track betting, incredible food, and friendly faces. The best daily specials and...
Hey, Jax, did Bauer do a NASCAR pick last week on the show?
We know you.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Golfers, swing into Vans Golf Shops for the hottest new fall arrivals from TaylorMade, Callaway, and Titleist. Come by and test drive the new TaylorMade P790 irons, the new Callaway Apex Pro iron sets, and the new Titleist T-Series irons. While you're there, get a free custom fitting on the new arrivals and more. Vans Golf Shops is your headquarters for all the latest golf gear from all the top manufacturers. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
Hi, this is Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We started in 1998 with our original store in Tempe. Fast forward to 2023 with 6 stores across the valley. We've had a lot of fun along the way, including our pizza eating challenge and our appearance on the show Breaking Bad. Thank you to our employees and customers for 25 fantastic years. We have never changed our core ingredients or recipes, and every pizza is made by hand. I'm a proud 1998 ASU alum and the official pizza partner of ASU Athletics. Learn more about our story at venezias.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Got the urge to pick games each week? Thursday, Sunday, even Mondays? Then sign up now for the Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em, courtesy of Blue Moon and Coors Light. It's totally free to play. Head to fanpick'em.com. That's fanpick'em.com.
Fires are becoming more unpredictable, and charred soil is increasing our risk for flooding. Knowing your flood risk builds resilience, and having flood insurance gets you disaster ready. Visit floodsmart.gov/wildfires to get ready and stay resilient.
The Gillette Intimate Trimmer gives you a gentle, easy way to trim your pubic region. Or you could try waxing. Nope. From America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. The best a man can get, down there. Buy Gillette Intimate at a retailer near you.
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio app? Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts.
Free playlists.
Free contests. Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations. It's free. I love iHeartRadio.
Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
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 Free never sounded so good.
Good life. Still to come, Casey from the Sportsbook here at Casino Arizona will join us as we do our weekly picks. Trying to decide my lock of the week. It's the only thing I'm good at, Jackson. Hey, Monday night tailgate here at the CAZ Sportsbook. Don't forget, time change, so you got an extra hour to get here. Monday night, the kickoff is just after 6 o'clock, and you've got the Broncos and the Bills. And one of the things that I love about what they do here at the CAZ Sportsbook is every Monday night they've got a specialty item on the menu to kind of feature one of the teams playing. And I guess this is Denver. The chili relleno burrito is on tap for this game Monday night. The fried chili relleno, Spanish rice, wrapped in a flour tortilla, covered with red sauce and melted mixed cheese as part of the festivities here at CAZ Sportsbook.
You should have a warning on that. If you do eat that, be prepared to run to the bathroom right after.
You've got the $6 Rockamanooch Lager on tap, the official beer of the CAZ Sports Bar. But one of the things that I love coming out here on the Monday nights, the buckets of beer, $20 domestic beer buckets or $22 imported beer buckets. And if you don't want the chili relleno burrito, you've got the full menu available. And, Jackson, your chance to win cash just for watching football here with Rockamanooch and Jimmy B. You've got the kickoff challenge, squares, football bingo, propositions. Always a great time. No charge. All you got to do is be a member of the Players Reward Club. Denver, Buffalo, come on and watch it here at the CAZ Sportsbook with Rockamanooch and Jimmy B. Kickoff right about 6:15 on Monday night. Jackson, what's the kickoff jackpot up to?
$1,900.
Ooh, that's it. Why not? That alone is worth the opportunity. Even if they don't run it back for a touchdown and convert the extra point, you get whatever yards it is. So if it's a fair catch, you get that 25 yards, right? You sit in a chair, you watch the kickoff, and one of the guys hands you cash.
It's that simple.
That's easy.
That easy. Let's get an update on the college football leaderboard. For those driving around, maybe got some live bets or some bets that they had previous today that want to, get an update on how their bet is doing. So let's start out with the big game. 3 Michigan at 10 Penn State. Michigan's up 17-9, 14-11 left in the fourth quarter, facing 3rd and 6 on their own 7.
Yeah, Penn State pinned them deep. And Michigan with their back against their own goal line. So we'll see what happens. Michigan took a timeout, so they're in a break right now.
Alabama 28-14 over Kentucky. 10 minutes and 53 seconds left in the third quarter. Kentucky just scored a touchdown on their first drive in the third quarter. Alabama up 14 early.
46.5 point total on this game, and is a 10 or was a 10.5 point favorite. 2014, as you just said, Jackson.
Texas Tech at Kansas, 16 Kansas. Oh, you said upset alert?
Yeah.
Oh, Kansas just got on the board. A 60-yard touchdown run from Devin Neal. The score is now 13-7, but Texas Tech still leads.
Kansas was a 4.5 point favorite, and they are nowhere close to that 62.5 point total that game went off at.
And then lastly, 21 Arizona at Colorado just kicked off just a moment. The score is 7-7. 7-7. Colorado scores on their first drive. Arizona responds back and scores.
You got the resiliency there from the Wildcats on the road. I haven't seen that one on a TV here yet. I'm sure.
Oh, because it's on the Pac-12 network.
There you go.
I don't
know what the weather is in Boulder today, how much that's going to impact the Wildcats. The Wildcats were 9.5 point favorites in this one, and if they keep moving the ball back and forth, these two teams, the 52.5 point total, not much of a concern on that one. We'll keep an eye on that scoreboard throughout the rest of the day. Or at least the rest of the show. But back to the NFL, we talked about the Cardinals and the Falcons for the most part in the last segment. A couple games we're keeping an eye on this week as the NFL gets into week number 10. We talked about Monday night football with the Broncos and the Bills. The 4 teams on a bye this week: Kansas City, the Los Angeles Rams, Miami, and Philadelphia. Those teams are getting a well-deserved break. Only games I'm keeping an eye on. They're not in a position to resurrect their season, but Antonio Pierce seems to have kind of put the Las Vegas Raiders to kind of a pivot. A team that was just infighting and just looked, I don't know, disorganized and disinterested, all those different things. They came back with a little bit of swagger last week, and to me, it's kind of fascinating, And I'm wondering, is that a one and done for a team that's still under 500? Is that a one like, okay, we got rid of the old guy, we got a new guy, rah 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 type of thing, or is it something that they'll be able to continue to build on there in Las Vegas? Obviously, Antonio Pierce, sorry ASU fans, Antonio Pierce auditioning for that job, and maybe he can turn it around. Jets come to Las Vegas. It's a 1-point favorite, a really good point total on that one, 36.5. I'm with the Raiders again. That was my lock of a week ago when he took over the first week of coach, and he delivered for me. I may have the Raiders again as my lock of the week this week when we do our picks in the final segment.
Yeah, I'm looking right now to see what Max Crosby's sack props are, because what we saw last week with the offensive line of the Jets, atrocious.
Yeah.
And you could say, Zach Wilson didn't play well, but at the same time, when you're getting pressured and you got sacked, I think it was 7 times against the Chargers, you're going to be a little antsy, you're going to be a little panicked, not really anticipating the pressure because you got Khalil Mack on one side and you've got Joey Bosa on the other. So I like the Raiders in this one as well. Being the home dog there, I think McConnell will be ready. I think Devontae Adams will be ready as well. And then the running game of Josh Jacobs, he's starting to get things going too when it's all said and done.
To Max Crosby, what we're talking about, $1 million to his alma mater when he was back in Detroit with the Raiders a couple weeks ago. He, of course, played his college football at Eastern Michigan. And, it's kind of cool when you see athletes who are out there making the big bucks and they earn every penny they get, but when they give back to places like Eastern Michigan that help put Max Crosby where he is, and see him acknowledge that. So, all right, another game to keep an eye on. The 49ers off the bye. Here's a team in the 49ers. I kind of jinxed them a few weeks ago. I made some comment about them versus the Philadelphia Eagles, which I'm coming to regret. 49ers are 4-3. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They're maybe a little bit healthy. I saw Deebo Samuels is back. But this has still got to be concerning if you're the 49ers, that this team that is so talented struggled. You should be able to absorb the loss of players here or there if you're this team. And they are 3-point favorites at Jacksonville tomorrow. So, again, a West Coast team going east, a Jacksonville team that's starting to play a little bit better. I think this is one of the games of the week this week in the NFL, but I'm very, very interested to see how the 49ers respond out of the bye. 3 points. I might take those points and run with the Jaguars if I'm looking at that game.
Yeah, it's interesting. You've got one side of things with the 49ers and Brock Purdy. He's been struggling recently, 5 interceptions, and some of those being laid across the middle. And then the other side, Jaguars are hot right now. Trevor Lawrence is playing better, starting to get healthier, but the more, in fact, the X factor in this game has been Travis Etienne. He's been dynamic in the running game and in the passing game too, but I'm really intrigued with this game as well as the Browns-Ravens, both 11 a.m. clocks. So make sure you get your 2 TV set gross. We want to watch both of them at the same time.
Red zone.
Ooh. Scott Hansen.
We'll step aside. We have to talk NBA. We typically on this show don't talk about NBA till Christmas time, give or take. But we got to do it. That's coming up next on Fox Sports 910.
Clear the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
The peace is the best of the game. Here.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. Multiple tiers and endless benefits. We've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. Not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Make the right choice. Right to the best customer.
Law Group is the firm you can trust with your freedom. Our criminal defense attorneys have represented thousands of clients across the state. And with our affordable payment plans, you can get the defense you need immediately. If you've been wrongly charged with a crime, time is not on your side. Call Alert on Road today for a free consultation. We're available to help you 24/7.
Murder and rope is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're not just a sports bar. We're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, get ready to score big on fun and flavor. Only at BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day. Check us out online at bkdsbackyard.com. That's bkdsbackyard.com.
Sun Devil football returns to Mountain America Stadium to take on the Oregon Ducks Saturday, November 18th for the Salute to Service game.
Orgay will throw for that far corner. Touchdown!
Get your ASU Oregon tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
Stays on his feet and he's over the 20. Touchdown Devils!
Golfers, swing into Vans Golf Shops for new fall arrivals from TaylorMade, Callaway, and Titleist. Come by and test drive the new TaylorMade P790 irons, the new Callaway Apex Pro iron sets, and the new Titleist T-Series irons. While you're there, get a free custom fitting on the new arrivals and more. Vans Golf Shops is your headquarters for all the latest golf gear from all the top manufacturers. Vans Golf Shops, with a 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
For a new smart TV, Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B are giving away 5 65-inch smart TVs. 6 Peaks to 59925. Peaks to 59925. Standard message and data rate to 5 Peaks. Home of the 29-degree blue moon and Coors Light man-sized drafts.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Here on MSNBC, we are staying on top of several fast-moving stories.
Today's news requires more facts.
A new report finds the climate crisis is getting much worse.
More context.
We are seeing record numbers of people crossing into the United States just in the southern border.
And more ground covered.
People here are watching what is happening in Kiev very closely.
The world's never been harder to understand. That's why it's never been more important to try. MSNBC. Understand more.
I woke up feeling sick with cold and flu symptoms the other day, and I thought I might miss my son's soccer game. It's a big game, and I knew how important it was to him for me to go. So I took Mucinex Fast Max Kickstart
Did
severe
you cash
cold
that
and flu.
ticket the other day that
And
you
now I'm feeling much better.
gave him all those quarters
Fans
for?
can go to his game.
No, I needed
Mucinex
Wyoming to win.
Kickstart gives all in one and done relief.
And I would have
The
won.
morning
It was
jolt
like
of instant cooling
$5 to
sensation.
win like
Come back with a
$150.
kick with new
And it was like this
Mucinex
13-leg parlay
Music
that
directed.
crashed their machine. Remember that?
Get unlimited wireless from
That's what
Boost
took so long.
Infinite. Infinitely better. Learn more at boostinfinite.com.
13 leg.
Yeah, dude.
You're a maniac, bro.
Got to take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Exclusively on Fox Sports 9.
The question of the day is, how many legs are too many legs in a college football parlay?
That is true. And then it's always the last one. Like, so for those wondering the reference why we're bringing that up, I had a 13-leg $5 parlay a couple weeks ago to win $150. And all I needed was Wyoming to beat, I think it was Boise State, and they lost. And our fine producer back there, Richie, was like 13. And I was like, yeah, I know. I should have went 12 probably there. But it's a good question. How many legs is too many legs?
I think our fine producer said you need some help, is what he said exactly. Yeah, 13. I'm going to go 13 is too high.
Most of them were like odds on. Like most of them were like Georgia, the Ohio States, like the really heavy favorite teams. So don't give me too much slack. There was probably 2 or 3 like bold picks in that one.
All right. We'll consider.
Yeah,
how
long? That should be a
Maybe
poll
we'll do a poll
question. Exactly. Wow.
Great minds. Hey, we talked about it before the break. And look, it's not Christmas, not even close. So don't put your decorations up yet, by the way. NBA. You were at the Suns Lakers game last night. and the Suns are struggling. And I don't know that nobody's worried about it yet, but it's just, I think it's unexpected. I think given all the noise and positive fanfare around this team as the regular season and the postseason from this team, and then the sale, and then adding pieces that people didn't think they'd be able to do. So much good news around this Phoenix Suns team. And to sit here, and again, it is 4-5. The record is 4-5. It's November 11th. We don't panic in the NBA until April, right? So I want to preface whatever we're talking
Everyone
about
needs
that.
to just calm down.
However, it is kind of surprising to see this team struggle a little bit the way they are.
I'm not really surprised because they had 12 new players on this roster. You've yet to get everyone healthy yet. It's going to take some time. Just like it took some time for Kevin Durant to get used to playing with Devin Booker, it's going to take some time to get all these guys. You can see Vogel's switch up the lineup a little bit. Did not like Bates Diop in the starting lineup. Did not like him at the end of the game when I was at the game last night. But when it's all said and done, it was great to see the Purple Court in person. It was really kind of, I loved it. I felt like I was it was a Space Jam type feel, but most importantly, it was really cool to see LeBron James versus Kevin Durant. Durant 38 points, LeBron 32 points, going back and forth, especially late in that game. But the Suns, I thought they played a good game overall. It just came to those last 5 minutes, and what we've been talking about on the show, and what most pundits have been talking about with this team, it's turnovers late in the game, and it's just defensive rebounds. That last Cam Reddish, I almost said touchdown, but that last Cam Reddish three-pointer, he had about 2 or 3 attempts, and that third attempt, he made it from the corner there. You got to be able to get the boards with Nurkic, or it's Durant there. You guys are the only two that can get those rebounds because you're guarding AD, or you're guarding, really Hachimura down low. But it's just that late, man. It's those late games. You can't score 23 points in the fourth quarter. You got to be able to score at least 30.
And we talk about the offseason additions, some of them surprising the way they kind of retooled the roster that was already one of the best in the NBA. And I want to ask you about a couple guys. Too early to really have a feel on Bradley Beal as he's working through some of the back issues. But a guy that I know you were high on when they made that trade, Grayson Allen, coming in here, playing some serious minutes and taking advantage.
Yeah, he was more of a rebounding role last night. You didn't really have him shoot the three. 1 of 4 last night after coming off of when he was 8 of 13 from 3, a career high just a game ago. But I like it. This guy's scrappy. Really intrigued to see how they use him when Booker's back in the lineup. Is he going to be that 6th man? Is he going to be in the starting rotation? Who knows? But I think him and Nurkic are starting to pan out when you look at that trade when it all came down a couple weeks ago. We were seeing things from Nurkic last night that you would not see from DeAndre Ayton, setting screens, getting to the glass, being aggressive. That's something that you haven't seen from Ayton when it was from the last couple weeks. But this team's deep. I like Yuta. I like what we saw from Eric Gordon last night. I like what we saw from Kogi, even though he can't shoot a three-pointer to save his life last night. But the team's talented. I just think for Suns fans, give them some time. Again, new head coach, new system, new roster. Let's just all relax and breathe and wait for Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Beal to come back. But I want to throw it back to you, Gross. What were your thoughts last night when you watched the Suns, when you watched this game?
Well, again, like you, let's relax because, again, talking about panic in the NBA and on November 10th or 11th is not something that is very warranted or necessary. But I agree. And I think Frank Vogel, everybody's like, oh, this is so easy. You got all these talented players. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. This is a little bit of a tough job where you got to figure out how these pieces work together and how you get the right combination. It's just not, hey, let's roll the ball out and let them do what they're going to do. You've got to put it together and figure out how you make it work. What combinations work? What do you do with Grayson Allen when Devin Booker comes back off of injury? So I think it's a tougher job than people want to admit. For Frank Vogel as he takes over, but let's save the panic for April. If we're still talking about this in April, then fine, we'll go ahead and do that. But I love it. I love the aggressiveness in the offseason. We didn't really talk about it much when it happened, but there's a hell of a roster, and you get them together. You get them. What about the in-season tournament? Are you a fan? Do you care? Do you like it, not like it?
I don't really care for it, to be honest. I wish they would have had the winner gets maybe home court advantage if they make the playoffs.
Like the All-Star game?
Or exactly. Or if they get an automatic bid. I know automatic bid may be a little too early if it's at the mid-season point. If they were to get an automatic bid, you probably see a team sit their superstars. Well, there's that new rule, but sit their superstars for majority of the back half of the season. That wouldn't be good for ticket sales. But $500,000, that's a lot of money. If you're a guy like Saban Lee or, the back half of the roster, that's life-changing when it's all said and done. But I don't know. I'm not really a fan of it, but what we see from these in-season tournament games, though, it was a great game last night. It kind of felt like teams were starting to play more defense than other games.
Well, again, what I said about it being November 11th, I think in reality in years past, the NBA knew it was November 11th, right? And you kind of mail it in, maybe that nasty word that Charles Barkley doesn't like, the load management. Maybe if you're playing back-to-back in November, you don't play guys, but now you've got this tournament. It kind of changes the calculus a little bit. And I was down on some of the things that baseball did, but, baseball kind of worked out for them as well. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because you've got a product. At the end of the day, this is a product, and you've got to make it as interesting a product to as many people as you can, right? And I think that does it. And the other thing that I absolutely love about this is just what you said, the money. We all know what it's about, so don't hide from it. Don't make it, a secondary thing. Put it out there. If you win, you will make some money. There's no problem. I have no problem with that. This is professional sports. Pay them. Like Richard Bell used to say, pay the man.
Pay the man.
This is what it is. So I like it. I haven't watched a ton yet, but I am a fan of the in-season tournament. And I think if you got a lot of smart people running these leagues, figure out what worked this year with the tournament, figure out what didn't work, and tweak it going forward.
The last thing I'll say about the Suns and when last night's game, the only thing I didn't like from Vogel is the minutes distribution of Beal. This guy has 20 points in the first half. I understand he's coming from a back injury. He had a little scare in the second quarter where his back was kind of tight. But at moments at the end of the game where it seemed like Kevin Durant needed that other scorer on the court, it was just kind of KD iso ball back and forth between him and LeBron. I would have loved to see Beal maybe get in like 7 minutes left and have him see Beal, Kevin Durant, Nurkic, and Gordon in that back half of the stretch there. When it's all said and done, you got to win the football or the basketball game. I almost said football game there. But in season tournament, I don't know. That's just my thoughts there.
Do you agree with me that Frank Vogel, it's not an easy job?
No, not at all.
There's a lot of people, like I said,
he's dealing with 15 new players that he's never coached before. Yeah, he has no coaching history with any of these guys.
And what's the biggest thing in professional sports when you've got all this talent? Chemistry. You got to figure it out. You got to figure out how to make it work. And I like I said, that's what he's doing right now. So minutes in November, massage it so that you know when you're coming down to crunch time, what you can pull and which ones you should probably stay away from.
For Suns fans out there, though, wondering about Devin Booker, he warmed up before the game, did some dribbling drills. He looked good to me, shooting around, running around the court. So I would expect for him, I don't know about the Thunder this week, but I think next week we'll start to see Devin Booker back in the lineup.
That's good news for Phoenix Suns fans. All right, we'll step aside. Come back, our final segment of the day. Casey wandered up, so that means we know what to come up next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Our Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio. I don't think there's any such thing as overcompensating. Win $1,000 in inflation compensation. Listen every hour, weekdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sponsored by Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorneys.
Hey, Arizona, it's your local accident attorney, Kevin Rowe. Results matter, so we want to help you win $1,000. Powered by Lerner & Rowe Accident Attorneys, where we treat you like family. And need a check? Call Lerner & Rowe today at 977-1900.
He's looking to elevate team members. You sell. Head on over to allcitytowing.com/careers for information.
You may not have any experience dealing with car wrecks, but Lerner & Rowe does. After your car wreck, you need an attorney to make sure your interests, like car repairs, medical bills, and lost wages, are protected. Finding the right attorney is actually easy. Just look for reputation, experience, and results. Lerner & Rowe has thousands of 5-star reviews, decades of experience, and we've recovered millions of dollars for their injured clients. Hurt in a wreck and need a check? Call Lerner and Rowe today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Escape the scorching heat and get indoors at Putting World's 18-hole putting experience. Stay cool while mastering the greens and having a blast with family and friends. Visit Putting World today.
Golfers, swing into Vans Golf Shops for the hottest new fall arrivals from TaylorMade, Callaway, and Titleist. Come by and test drive the new TaylorMade P790 irons, new Callaway Apex Pro iron sets, and the new Titleist T-Series irons. While you're there, get a free custom fitting on the new arrivals and more. Vans Golf Shops is your headquarters for all the golf gear from all the top manufacturers. Vans Golf Shops, with 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
The mania comes early to the Valley in November with the inaugural Arizona Tip-Off College Basketball Tournament, featuring local teams, the GCU Lopes and the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks, plus teams from the SEC and Big East conferences. Be there for 3 days of thrilling basketball action November 17th, 18th, and 19th at Desert Diamond Arena. Tickets are just $15. Secure your seats. Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com now.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale, just off the 101.
Hey, sports fans, every big game is El Bandito Yankee, an ultra premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience?
I don't have one ready. I can come up with something.
Backyard joint. At BKD's, we're not just a sports bar. We're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, get ready to score big.
I don't have my WNBA anymore, so
BKD's Backyard joint, where every day is game day. Check us out online.
I actually looked at DraftKings. They only have lines for one game today. They don't have the lines for tomorrow yet.
Need a new big screen for the football season? Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light has your chance right now. Text PEAKS to 59925.
My brand is strong. I like it.
Standard message and data rates apply. That's PEAKS to 59925.
What's up, everyone? It's Damian Lillard, and Bose knows how important music is to my daily routine. That's when I'll go for the QC Ultra headphones, especially for me being like a lyricist, a storyteller, somebody that you got to be able to hear clear. The immersive audio is perfect for that. It literally puts you in a space of quiet, quality sound. Just plug them in and get to it. Discover more at Bose.com. Bose, sound is power.
Time for the best locks and daily nature picks, courtesy of the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Now joining the guys, Sportsbook expert Casey Walsh from Bob, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
You're live.
Welcome back. Final segment of the show means we make our picks. Now, before we do that, Casey, though, we've been talking on the show, and as happens a lot when Richie's running the board for us, he has an issue with Jackson. I mean, it was the gamut with the beefs about. But the question of the day is, when you have somebody come up to the window here at the CAZ Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona, and they're doing a parlay, say college football parlay, at what point does a number of picks on that parlay, you look at them and go, you're nuts? What's too many picks, in your opinion, in a college football parlay? How many legs of a parlay give you concern?
The real answer is 3. It's hard enough to win. It really should be 2. Parlays is one of the worst bets you can make. We take a lot of actually 15 and 20 leg parlays. It's basically people trying to hit a lottery ticket at $10, win $3,000-4,000. But realistically, parlay overall is a terrible bet.
So you kind of agree with Richie though back in the studio when he told Jackson he needed help because he was bragging about this 13-leg parlay he's got running today,
Well, I have a 9-leg today. Okay, I got a 9-leg parlay.
which is more than 3.
It is more than 3. Yes.
But I mean, then you run into situations like over first day of basketball, somebody bet $100 on all favorites over 20.5 points. Was 12 games, bet $100, won $222,000. So,
jeez, that's well. Then some of those people win and they win like $5,000. So, hey, for those people keep doing those parlays because you know one day, Casey, you know,
legs though is Casey's advice.
yeah, don't put too much money on it. Yeah, don't be like I'm gonna put $1,000 on a 15-leg parlay. Don't do it.
I was going to say real quick, your best bet, if say you want to do 13 teams, do a round robin, put them in twos.
That's why we bring the experts on.
That's why
we bring the experts on. Ladies and gentlemen, Casey from the Sportsbook here at Casino Arizona reporting. We don't check records anymore on our picks because if you look at the overall records, not good. Anybody. None of us. It was brag. I did in the past. The locks, we're a little bit better off the locks, but we do have to. We're contractually obligated. We got a picks of the week. Jackson, take it away.
All right, I'm gonna go. We're gonna start out with Utah at Washington. 18 Utah is an underdog by 8.5 at 5 Washington. The over/under is at 49.5. What do you like, Casey?
I'm going to go the under in that game, the 49.5.
Under. I'm going Washington. I think they win big. I think they bounce back, win big.
I am going to take Washington as well. I lost my sheet, but I got Washington. Thank you very much.
Washington. We're going to get another big game tonight in Athens. 9 Ole Miss at 2 Georgia. Georgia's favored by 10.5 points. The over/under sits at 58.5. What do you like in this one, Casey?
I'm going to take Georgia in that game.
Georgia. I'm going Georgia as well. I think they're pissed off. I don't really trust Jackson Dart and Lane Kiffin under the lights in a must-win game in the SEC. I like Carson Beck and the boys to pull out to 10.5.
Everybody's all over Jim Harbaugh for whatever's happening or not happening in Ann Arbor, and like Lane Kiffin just flies under the radar with the stupid stuff he does nonstop. I agree, it's not great, but great radio. But give me Alabama as well.
We're going to the NFL side of things. The game of the weekend: Atlanta favored by 2 against Arizona Cardinals, and the return of Kyler Murray. Will he propel the Cardinals to their second win, Casey, or will they lose their 9th game of the season? Over-unders at 43.5.
I'll go under in that game as well.
Under. It's funny you said that because our buddy Gross right over here at the under early in the game, and I'm going to go with Arizona. I think they win this football game. They're down 2 on the spread there, but I got Arizona. I got them.
You like that?
I like Arizona even +2 or to win the football game. Yes.
All right, it's time for
what do you think?
Under.
Let's get into the weekend here, Richie.
Hi from the CAZ Sportsbook. Okay, gambling degenerates. What are your locks? By the way, you better be gambling responsibly.
All right, as we said, we're not celebrating our picks record, but each one of us is over 500 in our locks so far this year. So pat ourselves on the collective back. We're doing all right on our locks of the week. All right, let's go.
All right, I'm going to go Kyler Murray over 25.5 rushing yards. I don't think they do more design rush quarterback runs, but I think if he scrambles outside the pocket, they've really done well against mobile quarterbacks, that being of the Falcons, what we saw with Josh Dobbs last week. I like him over 25.5 rushing yards. Casey, what's your lock?
I'm going to go to the terrible Sunday night game between the Jets and the Raiders, and I'm going to take the Jets minus the 1.
Really? I was just talking about how maybe Antonio Pierce, maybe he changed things up a little bit there. Maybe you think it was just a 1-week phenomenon?
Yeah, I think it was a one-week phenomenon. We had Daniel Jones just fall down, hurt his knee again.
Jackson. Way too much attention now on this Iowa's inability to score, all this other nonsense. The game's in Iowa City. I think that 27.5 is definitely, I think it's definitely, I don't even have to say this, that it's definitely doable. Give me the over 27.5 Iowa Rutgers. I may come to regret it, but I like that pick right now.
All right, Richie, what's your lock of the weekend.
Going to Steelers Packers. I'm taking the under 38.5. Pittsburgh is 1-7 on the under this year, which means they've hit the under in 7 of their 8 games. So they're an easy pick on the under for me.
Damn, I like that pick.
I think that's a good pick too. I watched this Packers team live and in person last week, and Richie, you're a Rams fan, and I didn't mean no disrespect. The Rams were so disinterested last week, like they would rather have been anywhere other than Lambeau Field. And the Packers thought they were playing; they could only muster 20 points last weekend. So against a team in the Steelers, I think that's a great pick, Richie.
Kenny Pickett versus Jordan Love.
There is actually somebody. You know, the transition, you talk about Packers fans, on Lombardi Avenue, they've got the fences that have faced the stadium. They've got a big, huge Jordan Love mural. I'm like, that takes some confidence to have a Jordan Love mural, because who knows how long this guy's going to last there in Green Bay. That's going to do it for this week's show. As what just happened?
Michigan, I think, won the football game 24-9, 4 minutes left in the ball game. That's all she wrote. Michigan versus the world. They don't need Harbaugh on the sideline.
Thanks to everybody out here at the CAZ Sportsbook. Always enjoy our time out here. Obviously, thanks to our good friend Casey for stepping in, as he does every week in our final segment. For Bauer, for Jackson, I'm Mike Gross, and Richie back in the studio.